Greetings and hallucinations, ladies and germs. Today is the 8th of November, and our topic today is what's new in Photoshop 2023. Can't believe it's out already. Interesting, there's not a whole lot of changes in there, but there's a few beta things in the neural filters that we're going to show and see what happens. So let's see if we can share a screen. And we'll do it this way. Hide that. Minimize that so I can see what I'm doing. And you can see my screen right now?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the first thing I want to show you is we'll do it in, first I'll use the object selection tool, then I use Camera Raw to do the same thing, which you can do in Lightroom as well. But the object selection tool, which is W on the keyboard, they've improved it immensely and it just keeps getting better and better. So I'm going to use my lasso tool and I'm going to select this last tree on the left. And the selection process is so much better now. If I want to delete that tree, all I have to do is hit Shift Delete on my Mac, or if you're on a PC, I believe it is Alt or Shift Backspace on a PC. So I hit Shift Delete.
Wow.
And it automatically fills in and does the content aware. And I'll zoom in so you can see where it was.
Wow.
That's where it was. And then Shift Delete or Shift, yeah. Okay, now you're going to do that. That's not right. You have to be in the object selection tool for this keyboard shortcut to work. If you're not, it'll bring up the old Shift Delete, which is the fill button. We'll tell it to fill, and now it's filled. Very little trace, a little bit right in here. I don't know if you can see my cursor or not. Just a little trace right there that it was there. So hit Command Z, deselect, Command D. Now I'll go into Camera Raw, and the keyboard shortcut for Camera Raw is Control or Command Shift A. That brings you into Camera Raw. And we will go into the masking tool. And what I will do is select an object. Yep.
What was that command again for Camera Raw?
Control or Command Shift A. Control or Command Shift A.
Thank you.
You bet. And I am going to go to the Healing Brush tool, which is the second one down on the right-hand side of the menu over here. And you have the old Healing Brush. You've now got the Clone Stamp tool in there, and you have Content Aware Remove. So what I will do is click on Content Aware Remove, and I will select my tree. Once I have the tree selected, I just let go, and like magic, it doesn't work 100%. I'll do it again, and it better. Now what you can do is, I'll go back, we'll run it over one more time. If you're not happy with how it works, you can see it left a little trace over there. You can hit the refresh button, which is on the right-hand side under opacity. Click on refresh. And it should take it out, but it didn't do it. So I just ran the whole thing again really quick and boom, it's gone. So just that easy with that one. So that's pretty simple and easy. And let's close that out, Command W, don't save. And another thing in Camera Raw, which is also in Lightroom, I've got the Four Musketeers here, my son's wedding way back when. We're going to go to Filter, Camera Raw Filter, or Controller Command Shift A. And I'm going to go to my masking tool. And it's looking for people right now, which is where my cursor is on the right-hand side. And you can pick the person that you want to fix. So I want him to stand out. So let's do face skin and then click on create. And now I'm going to do the exposure and screw it up really big and make him look like a clown.
He looks a lot like you.
Especially once I made him a clown, right? If you decide that's not exactly what I wanted to do, hold the Option or Alt key where it says cancel down at the bottom. When you hold Option or Alt, it changes to reset and you can reset it. So I'm going to click on him. We can do just the teeth. And if you look really close, it picked just the teeth. So we'll create just a little bit of whitening, bring up the shadows a little bit, bring up the blacks a little bit, bring up the exposure a little bit, and now he's got super bright Colgate and Crest teeth. From there to there. So you can go in and play with that and figure out what the heck you want to do. So let's go ahead and close that out real quick. Command or Control W is close. D for don't save. Go back into Bridge. Now you want to see a miracle happen here? Let's go into Camera Raw Filter and go to the masking tool. And people, it says unable to select people in this photo. There's just way too many for it to work right now. I'm sure in the near future that it will be able to pull that out. But right now, it can only do a few people. I don't know what the max is. I haven't tested to see, but it won't do it. So just to let you know, so you don't try to do it yourself. One of the new things in Photoshop. I think we talked about this in the beta version of Photoshop a couple months ago. I'm going to go to Filter, Neural Filters. And Photo Restoration is now active as a beta module in Neural Filters. So exciting. The first time I tried it, it said, I'm not going to play. I'm not going to play at all. Don't even bother. And then I waited a couple weeks and now it's up and running again. So let's do scratch reduction because we need to take that big scratch out and the little scratch up at the top. And this is one that you're going to have to download the first time you use it. So be patient with it and download it first and then use it. And the one thing is, if you don't have a super fast machine, this thing is labor intensive on the computer. My computer has 16 or 32 gigs of RAM, and it's not quite up to par right now. So let me zoom in on his face. And you can see when it runs it, it enhances the face much more than the body, so they just don't match. So I'm going to bring the face down, bring the rest of it up a little bit, and then rerun it on the machine again. Bring the face down. You want to try and make it so it's matching, because you can max the face out where it's like almost perfect, but then it just doesn't look realistic. I'm going to take it down to about 15%. Click OK. And you can see before and after. I didn't have to do anything. And now I can enter this into image competition and say what a wonderful retoucher I am. No comments on that one? I expected a few comments. Okay, moving right along. I'm going to close this guy out, Command W, don't save.
After you close it, I have a comment. It's not a comment really. How much
Okay.
did you move the scratch reduction? Was it just like 5, or I didn't see how much you moved?
I think I took it about halfway up. Let me do it again.
Oh, okay.
Filter.
Sorry.
No worries. We got plenty of time. Turn on photo restoration, scratch reduction. I think I took it up
0. Yeah, I think you took it to 43.
Okay, right around that area.
So are they all start out at 0?
No, actually, these are. Let me reset it. Oh, it won't reset. Okay.
It's okay. It's no big deal.
Cancel.
I'm good.
We do filter, neural filter. And this is the starting. Scratch is at 0. Photo enhancement is 50. And enhanced face is at 60. And 60 is too much for the enhanced face. So I'll take it down to about 20-ish. And we'll bring the photo enhancement up a little bit just to make it gooder. And then you wait and wait and wait. It doesn't have to be precise what you set it at. Right now I've got it at 46. I just take it up about halfway, and it should take out most scratches pretty well. And if it doesn't, you adjust it so it will. And underneath the scratch reduction, there is other adjustments available. Noise reduction if you need it. Artifacts, halftone artifacts, color noise reduction, and JPEG artifacts. And then down here it says, are you satisfied with the results? Much gooder. Yes. I'll say yes. And just hit submit. That way they know that we're happy with the beta version of this and everything is wonderful. And I just saved it to current layer.
Can you put a mask on some of individual ones or no?
Yeah, when you save it, you can. So we'll go back, filter, neural filters. We'll do the same thing over again.
Sorry.
That's okay. It gives me practice on how to do it. And enhanced face, I'm going to take down to about 23. And on the bottom right, next to cancel, it says output, current layer, new layer masked.
Oh.
I would probably go with new layer and then add a mask on manually, just because I like controlling the computer better. But you can add the mask as well. Well, let's do mask, see what happens. And go to layers.
Okay.
And that's what it did.
That's cool.
Amazing. I'm just in awe. Their engineers were working very hard. Any other questions on this one before I close it out? Going once, going twice.
Yeah, I can see some changes in restoration and competition, can't you, Dwight?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, how do you prove that you did all the work yourself?
You leave one flaw somewhere.
Is it you're not allowed to use that filter? Is that true? Is that what?
Oh, you can, but it will. I mean, yeah. you can definitely use that filter. At this point, you can't. I don't know what how they're gonna control it.
I mean, it's just like cloning or anything else. It's just a little faster.
It's a whole lot faster.
Yeah.
This I wanted to show you. This has been around a long, long time. I was watching a Matt Kloskowski video recently, and this is not something new in Photoshop. This is old, but a lot of people don't know about it. You scan all these images, and I'm going to do it the fast way. So I'll go to Image. Let's go Auto Color. It's not perfect, not even close. But I'll go to File, Automate, and then Crop and Straighten Photos. So I scanned 4 photos at one time because I was in a hurry. This is the original. Then it cropped all my images, took them off, so they're separate images now.
Hmm.
And you can see they're all rounded corners. So when you get into these, you got the rounded corners on there.
Mhm.
So that's old in Photoshop. Let's do this. File, close all. Don't save, don't save. And I could say apply to all, but I'm too lazy to do it. So and again, probably the biggest thing is the content aware stuff that they're doing. So we'll do object selection tool, and I'll select the salt and pepper shakers that the photographer didn't take out in this photo. And I'll hit Shift Delete on my Mac. And it's not perfect at all. Last time I did it, it came out really well. So let's try the plate over here. And my computer's saying, I don't want to play yet. There we go. See if it takes it out. So we'll do a Shift Delete. Not perfect. Probably the best way to do this particular one, we'll hit, there we go, everything's back to normal. And what I'll do is I'll go to the lasso tool, lasso this critter, hold the Shift key down, get that little corner in there. And I'll go to Edit, Content Aware Fill. And you can pick what you want to use to fill in the blank there. So I just used all the white, which pretty much already did. And it's still not perfect, but it's fixable really fast. And in fact, we could use one of the old tools in the healing brush. And that made it worse. Wow. Yeah, that don't want to play. But it's amazing how Photoshop is moving along with their AI.
Is that
Artificial.
because you had the structure is at 4? Is that like a lot of structure? I think when you use the patch tool. I don't know if that's the problem.
I don't think it is.
Okay.
Let's bump the color up a little bit too. Do the same thing. I don't use the patch tool a whole lot, just occasionally. Now that would take a little bit of work to get rid of all that, but it can be done really, really quickly. But those are the biggest things in Photoshop this time around. I think next week when we have Kimberly talking about
Lightroom?
Lightroom. And Lightroom and Camera Raw are basically the same thing, and you'll be able to see that it does the same stuff. So you're going to see a lot of cool things in that. And I'm hitting the Shift Delete button. Ooh, that uglied it up. Just to see what it will do, because I haven't really played with it enough. And it's digging in there too. So it's just going in and fixing it. But the AI technology that they're using is just unbelievable. So
Do you like to use the healing brush as opposed to the clone tool?
it depends on, well, the answer is it depends. Sometimes I use a healing brush. Sometimes I use the patch tool. Sometimes I'll use content aware fill. It just all depends on the project. And sometimes I'll try one, it don't work, I'll do the other one. I mean, there's 10 ways to skin a cat in this game, and that's kind of what you got to do to figure out which one works for which deal. I'm using where am I? Spot healing brush. I'm doing some retouching for another photographer, and I use the spot healing brush probably 99% on the images that I'm working on. That one works amazingly well. So, any questions? Okay, no questions. I'll turn the recording off and you can start asking your questions. The people didn't show up, don't get to hear it.